That was back when I was working for CBS New York, back in the news industry. Like literally just gotten. I think this was like my second summer out of the Marine Corps, maybe. Um, so it was like I want to say it's like 2012 or so. So I believe the statute of limitations is up on most of these stories. Um, but I fucking I mean this is pure serendipity that I turn on the news the other day and I see the CBS Channel 2 weather truck has been stolen by some dude who took it on a fucking joyride. I was thrilled to see this story because, and when I get into this, I'm going to tell you that this fucking job was the biggest kick in the balls to have during the summer when all I wanted to do was drink and do stimulants every fucking day. It fucking sucked. I mean, aside from obviously, I have my qualms about the news industry from a content perspective. There's a lot of self-important blowhards working in news. It's a very stupid industry filled with people who take themselves far too seriously. So seeing the weather truck, which they used to use, of course, on the most miserable days that I'd be working, which was like the bad weather days, when they're just going fucking crazy using the weather to try to drive ratings and scaring the shit out of people. And everything, all the businesses are closed because of fucking snow flurries because of you fucking assholes. So to see this truck stolen and destroyed by a joyrider, it just brought a smile to my face. A 24-year-old is under arrest after he stole a WCBS News weather van from Manhattan and took it on a dangerous joyride to the Bronx Tuesday afternoon, police said. The van operator called police around 4 p.m. to report the vehicle had been stolen from the West 50th Street and 11th Ave in Hell's Kitchen. According to officials, the key had been left in the ignition. Oh, what a fucking dope. How do you leave? I mean, in New York fucking City, how do you leave the key in the ignition? What a fucking idiot. But this guy, this joyrider, is a goddamn hero. Please, so if you find me, anyone out there in podcast land, a live stream fan, a fan of the Sacktap, find me this gentleman's court information. I want to write a letter to the judge on this gentleman's behalf. Like I said, so many fucking summer weekends ruined by working for CBS2. And this is not to say, by the way, that I wasn't working with nice, wonderful people and they were hardworking and everything like that. But it's the totality of the news industry and how much it fucking blows. Even when I was at a position where I had like some seniority and I'd been there for a few years, the turnover was so bad that I'd constantly be stuck working weekends, and you wind up doing. I was doing the work of an entire digital staff for multiple radio stations and a TV channel, all with completely neurotic leadership that would not leave any of us the fuck alone. But the companies are such cheap fucks that they won't pay for adequate staffing. So it really, really cut into my my drinking, drug snorting, beach lounging, and pussy chasing time during the summer. I'd get down, like do like a Friday night, get fucking blacked out, wake up the next day. I'd usually have to work like a 2 to 10 or something like that. So I'd go up, work that, drive back down. I'd park in the parking lot of the club, usually headliner on a Saturday night. So I'd park in the parking lot there, and I would keep just a little packet of like some Molly or something like that, and a couple vodka shooters in the car. You do it in the park lot. You're not fucking driving. You're doing it in the dark, so before the bouncers can see you, anything like that. Just, you've been working. You want to take the edge off, have a little buzz when you strut through that door and meet your friends. And then you go in, you party until whatever, fucking 3:00 in the morning. Smoke a blunt, go to sleep, and then I'd get up the next day and I'd work a 4 to midnight shift. So I just have, that morning I have one of my buddies drop me off, pick up the car, shoot back up to the city. I was running up huge tabs in like tolls and booze and gas and all sorts of shit. But it was a lot of fun. Probably should have cut the fun in half and saved even more of the money. That would have been a great idea in an index fund or something like that. I mean, with compound interest. But what are you gonna do? Hindsight is 2020, as they say. And honestly, those fucking riotous, debaucherous evenings, because if you missed out on one, you never knew what fucking wild shit was going to happen. It was actually after one of those that I had worked that fucking 4 to midnight Sunday shift. So I picked up a burger up on my way home, and it was a Sunday night in the summer. I was just like, fuck, it's gonna be great. I've been doing blow all weekend, hanging out in the sun. I'm gonna eat this burger in the air conditioning while I watch Game of Thrones, and then I'm going to sleep. And I walked into the house, and my parents were down the shore, so my brother had brought home like over probably between a dozen and 2 dozen, not quite 2 dozen, probably 18 people or so, I would say, home from this bar that we used to hang out at McMurphy's, and they had ordered 2 strippers off of Craigslist. And so I walk into the living room, and there's like some couple is making out on the couch in the dark, like it's a fucking high school party. And I'm like, I have no idea. I guess I'm not watching Game of Thrones because some people are here making out. And so I'm like eating this burger at the counter in my parents' kitchen. Because look, I'm not far be it from, I'm not going to fucking interrupt this makeout sesh. I'm going to be the fucking curmudgeon about things. This is the situation. So I'm eating, and like party goers, attendees I don't know who the fuck they are. It turned out it was a bunch of people from Newark, which is always good because no one from Newark's a fucking criminal, right? I'm sorry, Derek, but I don't know who half the fucking people in my house were. You know what I mean? I fucking. In any case, people are coming up to me asking me for fries. I'm politely rejecting them. And that's when our friend Derek, the bartender from McMurphy's at that point in our lives, comes up. I still see him once in a while at the bar. He bartends now. He's a fucking great dude. He is tied to some of the most hilarious stories of our lives, many involving strippers. In any case, Derek and another gentleman come upstairs in their underwear, carrying empty bottles of my parents' white wine, and demand to know we out of wine, I believe was the statement. They were followed up the stairs by a stripper who has since seeing her has been known as Dennis Rodman. And the reason we call her Dennis Rodman is because Dennis Rodman is who she most closely resembled. And someone at that point said, "Hey, where's Bobby?" And someone responded, "Oh, Bobby's in the bathroom downstairs fucking that other stripper." There was another stripper in the house. It was a short, round, I believe Mexican, but she could have been Guatemalan or Honduras or any number of Central American countries. Built along the lines of the woman that Arnold Schwarzenegger had the affair with. Whatever her name is, she was in the bathroom, and someone said that Bobby was fucking her, at which point Dennis Rodman corrected and said, Nah, they ain't fucking. He can't get it up. He just in there stroking." And that turned out to be true. Upon further inspection, we walked around the side. Everyone peeked in, and you could see that, in fact, she was lying on the floor playing with herself, and he was sitting atop the commode stroking. So Dennis Rodman was indeed correct, and that was a fine evening. I don't know if my sister was home. I think she might have been, and then left the house in disgust. I just went to bed after all this. I was like, I'm not responsible for this. I did not bring this into the house. Joey can take care of it. So I went to sleep shortly after finishing my burger. And then I woke up the next morning, and everything, honestly, everything was relatively in order, with one exception. There was on top of the toilet lid a long brown doo-doo streak from where I guess either Bobby or someone else had sat while fucking or stroking or whatever. But yeah, summer days drifting away, but oh, those summer nights. Well, tell me more, tell me more. Did he jerk off in your bathroom? He did. But yeah, seeing the fucking CBS News van, I would like get fucking jacked. Like it felt like I was in Inception or something like that. Like it was a talisman, like a dream within a dream about no longer being enslaved by CBS New York. But perhaps a foretelling of an awesome summer to come. Maybe it's an omen that the white boy summer is going to be just off the fucking hook. Maybe it'll be great if this summer, if Chet Hayes is right and the white boy summer comes. And as the prophets saw in the stealing of the CBS2 weather truck, if this is a summer filled with coke, pussy, and fat ass blunts, with fat ass bags of yak, fat ass cheeks, and fat ass blunts, well then, I think we'll all be fucking delighted. I'll be. Who doesn't love fat asses? Fat ass blunts. I'm not so much on the coke anymore. I'm getting up there. You get older, you got to take care of your heart. But yeah, let's hope the white boy summer works out. I'm excited.